Hi everyone, and welcome back to your Awesome Reading Comprehension. Today we're going to do Level 1, Lesson 5. And I'm having fun with these lessons. I really hope you are too. So let's get started with, this is the book you need. Remember to get your copy if you want to do the extra lessons, learn the vocabulary and write the essays, and do some of the other writing work to help you get better at English. Okay. Now, before you do any story, we have to really look at the pictures. Now, if we look at this picture, we see what? We see a man holding a baby. Now, how does he feel? Right? We want to start thinking about these pictures because the pictures match the story. How does he feel? What's happening? Let's think about that. Now, before you start reading the story, we have to read the questions, right? And here we go. Number 1, what is this story about? Number 2, how were the twins when they were young? Number 3, how did the twins start to change? Number 4, what happened 1 month ago? Okay, interesting. Number 5, what did Darren teach Andy? And number 6, why was Darren so afraid of children? He's afraid of children? That's weird. Let's take a look at the story. Andy went to visit his twin brother Darren. The two of them were very close when they were teenagers. They liked to go to parties and study together. When Darren got married, they stopped seeing each other so much. Andy still enjoyed going to parties. Darren liked staying home and watching television with his wife. 1 month ago, Darren's wife had a baby boy. Andy was going to meet the baby for the first time. Andy did not want to see Darren's son because he did not like children. Andy had never held a baby before. Andy was even a little scared of the baby. What if he dropped the baby? When Andy arrived and saw Darren, he was so happy. Darren was carrying his son. When Andy looked at his nephew, he loved him so much. Darren showed Andy how to hold the baby. After that, Andy never put the baby down. Andy stayed the night and cuddled with his nephew. When he decided he liked kids now. Well, that's a happy story, right? And it matches that picture. Now we understand what that picture means with the story. Let's look at that first question. What is this story about? Well, this story is about, and then we explain it. This story is about Andy visiting his twin brother's new son for the first time. When we look back at that story, we could see it talked about their past life, but mainly it was about him meeting the baby, going to see his brother, because in the first paragraph, it started to change. They were close as, teenagers, and then they started to change and become apart, and now they're coming back together. Why? Because he had the baby. Number 2, how were the twins when they were younger? Okay, so we know our key words are twins and young, right? We know that, I said younger, but it's young. When they were young, so we know twins and young. So let's take a look back at the story and find when the twins were young. There we are. The two of them were very close when they were teenagers. Now, teenagers is pretty young. That's, when you're from 13 to 19. So that's when they were young. So we have to understand what young is so we can find it. It's one of those vocabulary words. Now, let's take this answer from the story and put it back in the questions. How were the twins when they were young? Well, when they were teenagers, they were very close. How were they? Well, they were close. When? When they were teenagers. There we go. Our two keywords. Now, Let's look at number 3. How did the twins start to change? Start to change. Well, there's our key thing, right? Start to change. We have to find the change. Let's dive back into that story. When Darren got married, they stopped seeing each other so much. Before they were best friends, they went to parties, they were always together, they studied together. But now, when Darren got married, they stopped seeing each other so much. Andy still enjoyed going to parties, but Darren liked staying home and watching television with his wife. Now they're doing different things, right? That's the change. So let's go back into our questions and write this down. How did the twins start to change? Well, the twins started. See, right there it says how did. Did is our tense, right? And this is past tense. So how did past tense? And start is our main verb. So we answer it by saying the twins, what? Started, past tense. Started what? To change. Straight from the question. When? When Darren got married. That's when everything went right? That's when it always goes but in a good way sometimes. So how did they start to change? Darren got married. That's how it changed. Number 4, I did it that time. What happened 1 month ago? Well, we know a time. A time is our key word, 1 month ago. That's what we have to find. Let's look for it. 1 month ago. Oh, how easy that was, right? It was right there. We matched it perfectly. 1 month ago, Darren's wife had a baby boy. So, what happened 1 month ago? Well, 1 month ago, Darren's wife had a baby. That's what happened. Yeah, that's a big thing that happened. Let's look at number 5. What did Darren teach Andy? Well, we know these two people have to be in the answer, but our special word, our key word is teach. Let's find teach. Darren showed Andy how to hold the baby. Showed. Teach. Showed. But how do we know this is the answer? It has, Darren and Andy in the same sentence. And he is showing one of the others how to do something. How to do something. That's teach, right? Show and teach, they're synonyms. Cool, right? So vocabulary is very important. Synonyms, understanding what words mean similar things. Now, what is the answer to this one? What did Darren teach Andy? Well, Darren showed Andy how to hold the baby. But we could also take the word teach and make it past tense, so it would be taught. Exactly. We could say Darren taught Andy how to hold the baby. Darren showed him, so we just take it right out of the story and right in the answer. Or we could change the word from the question and make it match too. Both are right. Both are awesome. Let's do number 6. Why was Darren so afraid of children? Remember, 6 is our thinking question. So we have to really look at this and try and figure out the answer. Andy had never held a baby before. Andy was even a little scared of the baby. What if he dropped the baby? Well, it says, why is he afraid? Afraid and scared, they mean the same thing, right? Well, almost the same thing, but pretty close, right? So we know scared and afraid, that's our key word. Now, Andy had never held the baby before. Andy was even a little scared of the baby. What if he dropped the baby? Let's see if we can make that into an answer. Why was Darren so afraid of children? Well, he was afraid, what? That he would drop the child, right? He would drop the baby. Why? Remember, we always have to answer why. Because what? He had never seen one before. He had never held a baby. Later, Andy had to teach him, had to show him how to hold the baby. So, why was he scared? He'd never been around kids. He didn't know anything about them. He was afraid of dropping the kid. He was afraid of hurting the child. So we take the pieces from the story that match the answer, and we try to use as much of that as possible to make our answer. He was afraid that he would drop the child because he had never seen one before. Babies can be scary. I know, I was afraid with my daughter there. I was always afraid to drop her, even when she wasn't a baby. That would be bad. Now, I hope you had fun with today's lesson about Andy and Darren and the new baby. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye.